5th of December, Rabbi Levitt, Gemorrah.
Okay.
Okay, so on Thursday we did the Rabbi Yochanan. And now we can go to Reb Shimon ben Lakish. Shimon ben Lakish, Oimer. Kana Lokeach. This is
I've got it.
got it?
Yeah.
Good. Okay, so if you got it, then you can read it, Roy, please.
Okay. All right. Rabbi Shimon ben Lakish, Omer Kana Lokeach. Rabbi Shimon ben Lakish says that the buyer acquires the property upon the father's death. He maintains that ki katane masanisin macher haben ein lelakeach ad sheyomos ha'av. When the Mashiach taught that, the Mishnah, got Mashiach on my mind, of course. When the Mishnah taught that if the son sold the properties, the buyer has nothing in them until the father dies. Ki mayes av mayes eis le lelakeach, which implies that when the father dies, however, the buyer has acquired the property. Lo shenei lo mace have been b'chaye ha'av. It does not matter whether the son did not die during the lifetime of the father. The asu the day the bain, in which case the produce came into the possession of the son. Below shenei mace have been b'chaye ha'av, or whether the son died during the lifetime of the father. To allow also the die the bain, in which case the produce did not come into the possession of the son. Kana lekuach. In either case, the buyer has acquired the property. Alama kasaver kaniyen biros le kikaniyen haguf me. We thus see that Reish Lakish holds that ownership of the right to the property of the produce of a property is not tantamount to ownership of the property's essence. Behika zavin, hence, when the son sold the property, didei ka zivin, he was selling something that was his.
Okay. So since he was, okay. Let's see if we have, okay, so just to recap. So therefore, when the son sold these properties to the purchaser in his lifetime, while the father was still alive, and the father had the acquisition of the right to receive the produce of the field. Nevertheless, the Gemorrah says, "Didei kozovin," when the son sold the properties, he sold his own properties. At that time, he sold his own properties, and therefore, if the son passes away before the father, therefore the purchaser will acquire. That's what we have over here.
And that means the purchaser has acquired the state that the property was with the son. The way the son had the property now is the way the buyer has the property.
Okay. I'm just let's take a look and see if Rashi gives us any more explanation over here.
There are no notes until the end.
There's no notes over here.
No, seems to be straight out.
Okay, so let's keep going in the Gemorrah.
Is there no Rashis? When I said there were no notes, I meant there were no art scroll notes until the end.
There's note 18, Roy.
Yes, that's the last. That's the end of it.
Kinyan Peros. No, it doesn't seem that there's any Rashi at this point. We've done all the Rashis. He doesn't have any comments about Rish Lakish. He didn't have too much to say about Rabbi Yochanan either. Yeah, the real mechanics of why Rabbi Yochanan says what he says. In other words, they're arguing. We see there's an argument over here between Rabbi Yochanan and Reish Lakish whether kinyan peros is kinyan aguf, is regarded as kinyan aguf. Rabbi Yochanan says it is, and Reish Lakish says it's not. So, in other words, the case is that the father has, there's no doubt, everybody agrees that the father has an absolute kinyan in the peros of the property. In the produce of the property, that's what he held back for himself when he sold the property to the son. As long as the father's alive, he has an outright 100% acquisition interest in the produce of the land. The machlokes between the Rabbi Yochanan and Rish Lakish is, do we regard that acquisition that he has in the produce as also having an acquisition in the actual land itself? Rabbi Yochanan says it does. It is regarded like that. And therefore, the son didn't have the ability to sell to the purchaser, and unless he's going to survive his father, so the sale that he made doesn't work. Because what Rashi told us was that he's only selling what he had, what he gets into his hand, and he didn't get anything into his hand as long as the father had the peros, the produce of the land, and according to Rabbi Yochanan, that constitutes an acquisition in the body of the land itself as well. So if so, then the son doesn't really have anything to sell until the father passed away. And if the son passed away before, So it comes out that he didn't sell anything to this purchaser. That's Rabbi Yochanan. And that's based upon the fact that Rabbi Yochanan holds Kinyan Paris is Kinyan Aguf Dami. And Reish Lakish, he differs and he says, no, the fact that the father has a Kinyan in the Peros, that is lav Kinyan Aguf Dami. That is not regarded as though he has any acquisition whatsoever in the land itself. He only has in the produce of the land, but not in the land itself. And so therefore the son always, once the father deeded the property to the son has that in the land. He has that acquisition in the land, and it's his to sell. And so therefore the sale that he made to this purchaser will constitute a sale. And that goes, says Reish Lakish, even if the son passes away before the father passes away, because it already went into the son's hand when the father sold the son the land. And even though he held back the produce, but that doesn't mean that he has an interest in the land itself. The land was the son's, and therefore the son sold it, and therefore the purchaser acquired it from the son. And as far as the peros go, as far as the actual produce go, it's true the son's sale of the land did not include it included the peros, it included the produce when the father passes away. And so that was already fixed at the time that the son sold it to the purchaser. And even if the son predeceases the father, that aspect still is already intact during the father's lifetime, so that therefore, even if the son passed away before the father, once the father does pass away, so then the purchaser will acquire the produce of the land also when the father passed away. Okay. Now, what does this have to do? What does this machlokes have to do with Rav Yirmiyah bar Abba? Who is Rav Yirmiyah bar Abba? He's the one who was the original judge who paskined that the son would be able to take the property that the Niksei Malug that the mother deeded to her son in her lifetime, when she was married to her husband, who had the peros, who had the produce of the land during the marriage. It was the mother's property, though originally. Okay, so even though the mother passed away before the father, nevertheless, Rav Yirmiyah bar Abba gave the property to the son. Okay, so now we go further in the Gemorrah over here. Anan hashta. Anan hashta. We go to Lou. Would you like to read Anan hashta?
Where's that?
Let's see. Anan hashta.
Yeah. The top of the right hand, near the top of the right hand side of 88b2.
Got it. Thank you.
4 lines down. The Gemorrah concludes its digression.
The Gemorrah concludes its digression. V'anan hashta, and now we assume that Bain Rabbi Yirmiyah, Bain Abba, Ubain Rav Yehuda. Let's see, both Reb Yirmiyah bar Abba and Rav Yehuda hold in accordance with Reb Shimon ben Lakish. Is that what it says? Bain Rebbe Yirmiyah,
Mm-hmm.
Bar Abba. Oh, Bar Abba. Right. Okay. Rabbi Shimon ben Lakish, Severa Lahu. They hold like Rabbi Shimon ben Lakish.
Yeah, these were
Go ahead.
the two judges. In other words, the first judge, Rabbi Yirmiyah bar Abba, he awarded the property to the son, and Rabbi Yehuda, he was the one that was approached by the husband, and he ruled in favor of the husband. So they differed about who the property should go to in that case, but the Gemorrah says over here that the both of them, they hold like Reb Shimon ben Lakish in his machlokes with Reb Yochanan.
Right.
Yeah.
English says that the Mishnah refers even to where the son died during the father's lifetime.
Yes, that's the view of Reish Lakish.
But I thought they held differently when it happened during the lifetime.
That's the machlokes between Reish Lakish and Reb Yochanan. They interpret the words of the Mishnah when the son sold the property. In the Mishnah, Reish Lakish says whether the son survived, whether the son did not survive the father, the din is the same. The lokeach, the purchaser, gets the property after the father passes away. But Reb Yochanan said no. The Mishnah is not talking about the case where the son goes before the father. It's only talking about where the son survived the father. In that case, the Mishnah says the din that the purchaser acquires the property after the father passed away.
Okay, the Gemara now returns to Rabbi Yirmiyah bar Abba's statement. The Kamar.
We got a Rashi here, actually. Reish Lakish Sfira Lahu, it should be. Like it says in the Gemara. This is 5 narrow lines down in the Rashi, approximately. Last 2 words in the line.
Okay, Reish Lakish Sfira Lan. According to Reish Lakish, he thinks about in this. The Paskinan Hil Chasa Ke Reish Lakish. That the law, according to Reish Lakish, betalas,
yeah,
chada, tolan, the varas hamishna beemtza beparech cholan. Okay, so the paskinan is that he rules.
We rule. Rashi's saying
we rule,
meaning we are the we rule based upon what the Gemorrah says about these disputes between Rabbi Yochanan and Reish Lakish. The Gemorrah comes out that the halacha is like Reish Lakish in three matters. And the case, at hand is one of them.
Chada, one is the hacholan. What's the hacholan?
The hacholets.
The hacholates. Cholates. I don't know. What is that?
The one that gives chalitza. The one that it's the surviving son. His brother passed away, and his wife was did not have any children at the time, but the Rashi says she's muberes though, she's expecting. So this is just one of the three cases that the Gemorrah says that the halacha follows Reish Lakish and not like Rabbi Yochanan. In most cases, the halacha follows Rabbi Yochanan, but this case that we have here, kinyan appears kinyan aguf, the halacha follows Reish Lakish, and that's the first case. That's why he said chada ha. The first case is ha. Is this case that we have here that we're talking about in the Gemorrah that we have kinyan appears kinyan aguf. The second one is this case of cholitz lemuberes. He gives chalitza, surviving son, gives chalitza to his late brother's wife, who's a muberes.
Meaning she's expecting.
Yeah.
I would have thought that if she's expecting, then that the chalitza doesn't apply because she's not childless. He's not childless.
Yeah, so we would have to take a look over there in the Gemorrah Yavamas to see exactly what is it that Reish Lakish holds, and that we hold like Reish Lakish. I don't know what Reish Lakish actually holds over there. Does he hold that I don't know what the issue is.
Okay.
Is it a machloikus in whether they need to give chalitza, or is it a machloikus in if he does give chalitza that he doesn't need? What's the din? What's the fallout? Not sure. We'd have to take a look at the Gemorrah over there.
Okay. Umasne be'emsa beperek hachulin. And the Mishnah in the middle of Perek Chulin.
Masna be'emsa. I'm not sure what this is all about. The word is not Mishnah. That letter there is a tough. Either it means matana or it means masna, a condition, tanai, the emsa. Very, very sketchy description over here. Rashi just wants to tell us that this is one of three places that the halacha follows Reish Lakish, and we have a citation to the Gemorrah Yavamas.
Okay.
What's the third case?
Everybody wants to know this case. I don't know what the case is. We'd have to look it up.
It doesn't show three. It only shows two. It's weird.
No, the first one he says chada. The first one is ha. The first one is this case. The case of our Gemorrah.
The second one is the chalitza, and the third one is the gift or whatever, the gift or condition.
Right.
Weird. Okay. So back to the Gemorrah.
So back to the Gemorrah, yeah.
Okay, so now I lost track of where I was.
We're up to Vika Amar Rebbe Yirmiyah bar Abba.
Because Amar Rabbi Yirmiyah bar Abba, Rabbi Yirmiyah bar Abba said, "I salka daitach kinyan peiros ki kinyan haguf dame." If it should enter your mind that ownership of the produce is tantamount to ownership of the goof, ki mayes av umayes haben b'chaye ha'av. Then when the father dies and the son had previously died
Right.
during the father's lifetime, amai is le lokeach. Why does the buyer have the property? Why does the buyer have the property?
Yeah, because that's what it said. That was the implication from the Mishnah. The implication was that the Lokeach doesn't acquire until the father passes away. But
Right.
we inferred from there that when the father does in fact pass away, then the Lokeach does acquire. So Rish Lakish is Reb Yirmiyah bar Abba is adducing support to his position from the Mishnah.
Okay. Ki ka zabin hoy. When this son was selling,
Mm-hmm.
lav dide ka zabin. He was selling something that was not his.
Right. If we say that the Kinyan of Paris is yes Kinyan aguf, so it turns out that the father's acquisition that he kept to himself of the produce of the land, if we say that constitutes it's tantamount to an acquisition of the property itself, so then that would mean that when the son sold the property to the purchaser, he had nothing to sell. It was really the father's property, because Kinyan of Paris is Kinyan aguf. The fact that the father has the peros, the produce, is tantamount to saying he has an acquisition in the property itself. And if so, then the son has no power to sell the property, according to that. So, and if so, if the son passes away before the father, so that means that the son never got any. In other words, if that's according to that, then the son would only get any interest whatsoever in the property only when he would be alive and the father would have passed away. So if the son passed away before the father, so then that comes out retroactively that at the time that the son sold the property to this third party purchaser, he had no actual ownership of the property at that time, and he never ended up having any acquisition in the property, because it was all contingent upon him surviving his father. And so therefore, Rabbi Yirmiyah bar Abba is saying, if you hold that kinyan the Paris is kinyan a goof, so then you can't understand the words of the Mishnah. If you say that the Mishnah also talks about a case where the son passed away before the father. Now, Rabbi Yochanan is going to say, oh no, that's not, that the Mishnah is not talking about that case. but in any case, this is the setup that Rabbi Yirmiyah bar Abba is presenting to us over here. And so
Hello,
therefore he-
Shema Mina. Rather, is it not that we learn from this? Kinyan Peros Lav Kinyan Haguf Dami. Is it rather we have to say the opposite, that the owning the Perus does not is not tantamount to owning the goof, the body, the essence of the property. Therefore, the goof was owned by the son, even though the father was alive and owned the Perus at the time the son was alive. So therefore, the son, when he made the sale, when he was alive and his father was alive, the sale was good because he's selling what he owns. Right?
Right. That's right. Very good. If we say kinyan the Paris is lav kinyan the goof, what we mean to say is that the father's ownership of the produce does not mean that he has any interest in the land itself. He just owns the produce, but not the land. And he sold the land to the son, and the son got it when the father deeded it to the son. And now the son, when he wants to sell the land, he's got something to sell. It's true that he's not going to that the produce he's not going to get until the father passes away. Already at the time that the son is selling it to the purchaser, he's got something to sell because he already has the interest in the land. And now he's just waiting for the father to pass away, and then he's going to have that too. So that's why in this case, even if the son would go before the father, the son was successfully able to transfer his interest, which he did have in the property, to this third purchaser. So therefore, at the time of the transfer of the sale of the property to this purchaser, the son was transferring to this purchaser the property itself, and also now the right to receive the paris of the property once the father passes away. And so now, when the father passed away, so now he gets the paris also. But it seems to me that he got already an interest already in the lifetime of the son, because the son did have what to sell him in his lifetime. If we say kinyan a paris is lav kinyan aguf.
So we're saying the purchaser becomes the owner of the goof even before the father passes away.
Right, because the son himself became the owner of the property itself when the father deeded it to him. And since we're saying that, according to this, what we're saying right now, we're saying that kinyan paris is lav kinyan goof. That means that the father owns the produce, the right to receive the produce. That doesn't mean that he has any ownership in the land itself. So who owns the land now? The son owns it. So he sold it to this purchaser. And not only that, but the son also owned the right to receive the produce of the land when the father passes away. And that was all transferred to the purchaser at the time that he bought it. even before the son passed away and before the father passed away. He's already got that because that's what the son has at the time that the father deeds him the property. The property itself he has right now, and he has the right to receive the produce of the property when the father passes away. So now in that case, in that scenario, even if the son passes away first, so nevertheless the purchaser will get he already got the property itself, and now he's going to get the peros, the produce, when the father passed away too. Whereas in the other if we say kinyan peros is kinyan guf, then the purchaser didn't get anything, not even the actual property itself, because the son didn't have the actual property itself either. That was only if he survived the father. But where he doesn't survive the father, he doesn't really have anything to sell, and so therefore, in that according to that, kinyan peros is kinyan guf. So then the purchaser wouldn't acquire anything, not now and not after the father dies either. And so therefore, that's Rav Yirmiyah bar Abba's proof that the Mishnah holds kinyan peros is lav kinyan guf. And if you understood all that, my hat is off to you.
Mhm.
Okay. Now we have another Rashi. Ele lav shma mina. Lav kinyan guf dami.
Rather, is it not that we learn from this that a acquisition of the guf is not like guf dami, lav kinyan haguf nami dami. A acquisition of the guf is not like an acquisition of the produce. Hani nichse malug. This wife's property, hakiniyun bechaye lebal the pirus. This property of the woman hakinuyin, it was acquired. Excuse me. In the life of the husband.
It was kanuyin b'chayeha lebal. The hani niksei malug. These niksei malug properties. Haknuyin b'chayeha lebal, that they were acquired in her lifetime to the husband.
Meaning
so he was the one. Right, he was the one who the property was acquired to during the marriage, in her lifetime.
I thought it was only the produce that the husband acquires for mixed name.
Yeah. Well, that's what it means. Then that's I'm assuming that's what Rashi means.
Okay, so
he says leperos. That's the very next word. We didn't read it.
For the Perus. Okay. So this Nixay Malug is acquired in the lifetime of the husband for its produce. Lav kinyan haguf, not and the goof is not acquired. Dame. The goof is not similar.
It's not tantamount to a kinyan haguf. This kinyan appears that is acquired to the husband in the lifetime of the wife for peros is not kinyan haguf dami. It's not regarded as an acquisition in the property itself.
Okay, umas nisa.
Matnosa, matana.
Umas nasa matana. And it is a
Right.
gift.
And her gift is a valid gift that she gave to her son in her lifetime is a valid gift.
Oh, I thought she wrote it over to him.
Right.
It's a gift. It's a gift. She wrote it over to him. Yeah, okay. But Avagav de masna de masa de chayiv.
Right.
Even though that she is obligated. What's demasna? Demasa.
That she passed away.
Demesa.
Bechayov. In his lifetime. In the lifetime of the husband.
So her gift is valid even if she passes away in the husband's lifetime.
Right. So in other words, the acquisition that the husband had never came back to the wife, never came into her hands. She already was nifteris before it ever returned into her possession. But so that in that case, so that's it's a similarity between this case and the case of the Mishnah. And so if we say that kinyan Paris is lav kinyan aguf, so therefore we can say that her gift that she gifted to the son before she passed away is a valid gift, and therefore he will be able to collect it. He'll be able to collect it when his mother passes away.
Right. Okay, I think we're out of time.
We are out. Very good. Okay, Ashikoya.
So we'll see you at the class. Right.
See you at class today. Yes, Yimit Hashem.
Bye, Roy. Bye, Alan. Bye, Lou.
Thank you very much.
Bye-bye.
Happy Hanukkah.
Have a great day.